r/ask Reddit. What is the most disrespectful thing a guest ever did at your home? My sister's friend kicked my cat BC. She doesn't like cats. I slapped the shit out of her and I have zero regrets. Over the course of 3 days they drank 2 1L bottles of regular mead, 2L of the expensive stuff, 4 bottles of wine, a bottle of spiced rum, a flask of vodka, and a bottle of tequila. 3 days. JFC. I had to check twice. I was angry, but also morbidly fascinated that someone could do this to their body and still appear sober enough to not rouse any suspicions. Edits. L for liter, not LT. This one a single person and he put most of the bottles back after he'd finished them. We had offered him some rum on the first evening and we watched him drink a tall glass of it like most would drink apple juice. The amount he drank would have lasted us a year or longer. They invited another distant family member to our Christmas gift exchange, then didn't plan to show up themselves. We wouldn't have a gift for the person. They had been specifically told that the parents in the group didn't want this person near their kids. The person had pending charges for sexual assault of a minor. My brother-in-law left a vial of PCP on the couch where any of my kids could have easily picked it up. Then he had the audacity to ask my wife if we found it and told her he wanted it back. Tried to duck in my bedroom, went back to my room for my smokes in the middle of our end of semester house party to find these two making out heavily on my bed, partially undressed. I didn't know who they were and neither did anyone else at our party, so we kicked them the duck out. Not my home, but leaving trash in my car. I ducking hate it when people do that. Only my trash is allowed in my car. Don't add to it. My brother-in-law didn't feel like watching his sick child during his last stay. Well, just as expected, his kid diarrheaed all over our wool carpet. He didn't apologize or offer to get it cleaned. After finding out the cost to clean it would be half the cost of its purchase price, I decided to throw the carpet out. When I was a teenager, my parents had a dinner party. An infamous guest at the table shat his pants, went to bathroom, and left the soiled underwear by the sink. Went back to the table and carried on drinking. Alex, he came to yours too? The worst offenders in my friendship group are two who infamously overstay their welcome. They generally stay over when they come round, and if I didn't make an excuse about having to go out, they'd probably stay until the next evening. I had a group like that. 3 of them. They're harmless and well-meaning and I just smile and cheerfully tell them it's time for them to go. Nope, you can't hang while I sleep. Nope, I don't have anything pressing. I'm just done having company. See y'all next time. Not my house, but I had to throw someone out of a friend's house for pissing in the kitchen sink on the dirty, now dirtier, dishes. Excuse me, but what the duck? Were they too lazy to walk to the bathroom? Swung from my ceiling fan and ripped it out of the ceiling. Like just reached up, grabbed it, hung on for dear life until it crashed to the floor on top of him. Did he pay for it? Well, that part of the story is even worse, lol. I was in college and had friends over to my parents, with whom I lived with then, when they were gone for the weekend. My parents knew I was having friends over and we would be drinking, but obviously no one expected this. The worst part was breaking the news to my parents, but they ended up being chill and covered repair costs. A former friend stole €5 from me. We were 13 and it was my weekly allowance. Someone at one of my birthday parties, I was maybe 7 or 8, stole all the cash I was gifted. We never found out who. One of my cousins poured a full can of cola over my arcade stick controller for my Genesis back in the day. I'm still salty about that one, especially cause they made me lie to my parents and say it was an accident when I watched them do it from around the corner. My extended family was not allowed in the house ever again. I guess the adults had a thing too. No idea what, but I can imagine. Well, I'm white and my siblings are black and mixed. Some, also white, guy I was looking at starting a band with came over and we were talking on my porch. Without knowing who my siblings were, he randomly said I hate Engers. They should all hang from trees. Told him if he ever stepped foot on my property again I'd put him in the ground. I had a friend living with me for about a week while he was between places. I came home from work one day, went to the bathroom and noticed he had used my razor. No big deal. When I was done in the bathroom, I went to the front room and noticed that he had not shaved his face. My ex BF's 23-year sister, 24-year, came to a party super late at my home. She refused to drive and made my BF drive her, so they were both really late. This was kind of the introduction to her meeting my friends. She walks in, asks what we are eating, stating she was hungry. I went all out cooking for this. I was pretty excited, made a bunch of appetizer type items, meatballs, loaded potato skins, wings, etc. She slowly looked over everything, looks at my BF, and goes, "Yeah, I'm not eating any of this. Let's go to Wendy's." I was like, "Are you serious?" But he just sheepdogged along behind her. They left, went and got Wendy's and came back. She shit talked my friends to them and judged the choice of college degrees and just acted generally condescending. Needless to say, my friends were not fans of my BF or his sister. Stole my jacket to walk home with because he was cold. Them denied ever taking it and threw it away to save face. Duck you, Dean. My ex's daughter did that to me. It was a really cool dressy jacket that she asked to borrow and I said no. Never saw it again and haven't been able to find one to replace it either. A lot of my friends are artists, and so one thing we often do when together is draw or paint. One friend of mine noticed my new paint set and asked if they could use it, assuming they would be respectful and clean the brushes after I agreed to let them. However, they never did and I had to get brand new brushes later that week. A friend was coming over and asked if he could bring a friend. I had never met that guy but said yes because I like to meet new people. Well, they came over and we were just chilling, drinking a few beers, and we got to playing Tekken. I was facing new guy, and when I beat his ass he got so mad he threw my PlayStation controller on the floor, so ducking hard. It didn't break, but I asked him to leave right away. What a nut job. She cooked crack cocaine in my bathroom with my 3-year-old in the tub and stole $1,100 in an envelope that was meant to pay my rent. You sure they didn't break into your house? He shat in the toilet when we didn't have any toilet paper in the bathroom, and he flushed a sock after using it. It ended up being like $800 in damage. This is the same ducker that vaped mercury on a dare. Was the mercury vape before or after the shitting incident? If it was before, it might explain some things. We were newlyweds and had just bought our first house, scraped for a down payment and just squeaked in. My cousin-in-law came over the day of the closing and while looking at the backyard whips his dong out. I'm gonna Kristen yo fence. And sure enough starts pissing away. As I look away, I lock eyes with my new neighbor who was coming over to say hello. Started an anti-gay conversation. Really just a monologue. At my dining room table in my house, and yes, he knew I am gay. Used my toothbrush. Still can't get over it. Opened a can of Mountain Dew. Took one drink and left it there overnight. One time I was in after school care in 5th grade and my mom ordered me an entire Domino's pizza because she was late. Like I got the pizza at the school. I was eating it and this girl who was really mean wanted a slice and I told her no, so she got a teacher and the teacher for some ducking reason made me share the food my mom ordered for me. Anyways, she takes one bite and throws the rest of the slice away. Since that day I have never been that ducking mad at anything. I had Thanksgiving guests show up 3 hours early once. They complained that there was nothing for them to eat yet. Then when I served dinner they shoveled the food down quickly and left. They didn't even stay for dessert. I had a friend bring his new GF over, both in their late 20s early 30s. Within 10 minutes of arriving, she got up, stormed out of the house and viciously slammed the door on the way out. Turns out she was upset because we didn't all individually greet her by name. There was a group of us. That couple ended up getting married and to this day the rest of us still make jokes about slamming other people's doors whenever we're mildly inconvenienced. At the time I lived in a loft, so all one big open space. We had just gone to bed, partner and I upstairs, guest downstairs. My guest went to the bathroom with the door open. We could hear every noise. I could understand that, I guess. But the guest didn't wash their hands. So gross. One time someone threw my cat at another guest. Needless to say, my previously cuddly cat who enjoyed being picked up had issues with it for a long time after and now only tolerates being picked up. Sisters-in-law came to stay with my wife and I for a while until she found a job and a place to live. We were in our second year of marriage and money was extremely tight. My wife and I decided to splurge one night and order Pizza Hut. Maybe had pizza twice a year. Asks SIL if she wanted anything on it or if there was anything she really didn't want on it. She said she was good with whatever. We ordered a Supreme. We got the pizza and she grabbed a couple pieces and went to watch TV. A few minutes later she came back out and threw something in the trash and grabbed a couple more slices. She walked into the kitchen and put something in the trash can and went back to the TV. I walked into the kitchen to grab more water and saw piles toppings in the trash. I asked her, why did you throw out all of your toppings? She responded, I only like the bread. I was fuming. I knew I wouldn't like her next response, but I asked her, why wouldn't you ask wife or I if we wanted your toppings if you were just going to throw them out? I almost lost it when she replied, they were my toppings. I can do what I want with them. Too many stories from this one to share, but I will say this. That 6 months she stayed with us almost destroyed my marriage. Came uninvited. Disgusting. Did they even throw away the tissue? Pulled my glow-in-the-dark ET stickers off my bookshelf. We did a house swap with another family when I was about 6 and one of their daughters didn't like them or couldn't sleep or something, so they just ripped them off my bookshelf. They took a huge shit in our bathroom and didn't even flush. They probably just forgot, which I forgive them for. But I could never unsee and smell that shit. Ate spaghetti with his hands. Open the fridge and drink our stuff without asking. Picked up my guitar and played the Freebird solo behind his back. Had a party back in post-college days where I had apartment, most friends still in school. Someone threw up in the bathroom toward end of night. Didn't say anything. I found it after everyone left. Oh, and in that place, bathroom had shag, 70s carpet. Walked in it in the dark when I was going to pee before bed. Was slow gin, evidently. Found out who it was later and banned him. You get sick? Okay, happens. But tell the host, you know? Made fun of me and my family when I asked them to take off their shoes inside my house. To top it off, they were confused when I asked them to GTFO of my house. He peed on my family's dog. Entered the house with mud, terrified our cat, and then went to my room. Sat on my chair and touched my things. Broke my brand new sink off the wall in the bathroom because they couldn't resist having sex on it during a party. I'm reading the answers and am getting really mad. Grabbed my bird. I have 2 pets, a cat and a parakeet. The parakeet hates most everyone and I think she tolerates my wife and I cause we feed her, though we love her all the same. I had a friend over for a weekend, so did the whole my home is your home thing. She drank a bottle of wine, which wasn't a problem cause she wasn't driving home. In her drunken stupor she begged me if she can reach into the bird's cage and hold it. I told her no repeatedly because Doug, my bird, hates people. She swore up and down that birds love her and she has rescued a few outside, etc, etc. I said no and the matter was dropped. My wife went to bed but we were up for a while longer. I went to the bathroom and while I was in there I heard Doug squawking and then a scream from her. I rushed out and find the cage door open. Doug in the corner of her cage panting and my friend holding her finger with blood coming out. I scolded her for grabbing Doug when I said no but left it at that because Doug did hurt her. What Doug did was when her hand came around Doug, she bit her cuticle and ripped at it. I had a friend that I hadn't seen in years fly into town and I thought sure you can stay at my place. I am sober and he knew that. He knew me back in my drug days and how bad and close to death I came. Anyway, through the course of the evening at my place it began to dawn on me that this dude is high AF. I called him out and then he offered to hook me up if I wanted. I mean, I have compassion for people suffering from drug abuse but I just cannot wrap my head around how he could do that to me. How dare he bring drugs to the only place I feel safe from that crap. My sister's boyfriend had an argument with my sister and he left a hole in the door, punching it. Safe to say I hated him after that. Even him breathing the same air as me I can't stand anymore. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.